This is American Roundtable. I'm Al Spry.
And I'm Bill Strickler.
Your half-hour political power. We are your source on Tough TV 38 in Orlando and Tough TV. What's on the agenda today, Bill?
Well, we're going to talk about Steve Bannon, but with the unfiltered source, Al. Nobody from up above tells us what to talk about or how to talk about it.
No, it's not like Hebrew National. We don't have to answer to a higher source. We are going to talk about Steve Bannon and how he imploded his own career. We're going to talk about the fantastic initial sales of Michael Wolff's really, I guess you could call it a bombshell of a book called Fire and Fury. We'll also give you an update on some other things going on with the president, including a new nickname he has for one Dianne Feinstein, who is the senator out in California. And we will, of course, clue you in to other things as well. Follow us on Facebook. Facebook.com/USA Roundtable, because this is American Roundtable on Tough TV 38 and Tough TV.
Welcome back to American Roundtable. I'm here with Al Spry. So let's talk about what's going on in D.C. for a little bit, Al.
Well, Steve Bannon's career is over, pretty much. He's out of the White House. He's lost his main financial backer. He's been ousted from Breitbart News, which is, of course, where he took over for the late Breitbart. And what's going on? How does one man completely derail a startlingly huge career? The fall of Bannon can be attributed to one thing, in my opinion: greed. Greed. He probably got a huge fee for being a part of this Michael Wolff book, Fire and Fury. He decided that he was going to tell it like it is, which is, I guess, his style. The only thing is that you have to remember in politics and elsewhere, you don't screw over the guy who gave you your big break, which is one President Donald J. Trump. If you are going to be part of the Trump administration, part of the Trump inner circle, like Steve Bannon was, that's the operative word, then you don't go ahead and be part of a book that bashes the same guy that gave you your big break. In other words, don't bite the proverbial hand that feeds you. Of course, his mistake is basically screwing over Trump. When you screw over Trump, there are repercussions, and you have to understand that. And it's not just Trump. He's the president of the United States. It's a pretty big deal, wouldn't you say?
You know, to me, when you do a tell-all book, you're really not going to win. The only thing you're going to get is money. But then, like you say, he lost his career. But, you know, in the book, he's attacking Trump's kids. And I believe that kids, no matter who they're talking about, that's off limits. You don't talk about their kids. You don't talk about the Obama kids. You don't go after the Bush kids. I mean, that's just the way it is. Leave the kids out of it. If you got something to say, then say something about it. If you have a difference in political opinion or something that happened with Trump, just talk about the issues.
You know my opinion on life. One of them is, number one, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. You don't screw over people that you work with. You treat everybody fairly. You know what? He got mad because Trump kicked him out of the White House. Okay, you know what? In life, you take your lumps, but you still only talk positively as much as you can in public about the person, because this is the president. Regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, he's the president. And he's got a lot of friends. And so Bannon was a rising star, and then the star went like this, and now the star goes like this. And that's the way it works in the big city. This is American Roundtable on Tough TV and Tough TV 38. Welcome back to the American Roundtable on Tough TV 38 and Tough TV. Check us out at Facebook.com/USA Roundtable. Now, Bill, you can watch Tough TV. Did you know this? Right online. Just go to ToughTV.com. There's actually a link where you can watch Tough TV right on your smartphone or on your computer. Now, President Trump, of course, is known for nicknaming people. What does it mean to you when someone gets nicknamed?
Well, it could be bad or it could be good. But typically Trump, he says things or nicknames people that aren't what you consider something that you would want to be remembered by.
No, like for instance, we have Sloppy Steve Bannon, right? There's one example. Well, now we have sneaky Dianne Feinstein. Who is Dianne Feinstein? She's senator from California. Let's just take a look at what happened that got the president a little, put out, miffed, angry, perturbed, tweeting. You know, whenever he tweets, sometimes there's a big issue. Lashing out the president at Senator Dianne Feinstein for releasing the transcript of an interview with the co-founder of a political opposition firm that commissioned a dossier of allegations against the president about his campaign and Russia. Russia is not going away anytime soon, folks. Trump calling the California Democrat Sneaky Dianne on Wednesday, saying that she released the testimony, quote, totally without authorization and, quote, an underhanded and possibly illegal way. Feinstein releasing the transcript from the Senate Judiciary Committee's August interview with Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS. What do you think? Mistake on Senator Feinstein's part, or should the people be allowed to see this kind of stuff?
Well, to me, I look at the bigger picture here that there's certainly no cooperation between the Democrats and Trump. And when you start releasing stuff behind closed doors about a dossier that may or may not be legit, to me, that's a problem. I like to see them, and I've mentioned this several times, get together, sit down, talk about the issues, work it out, and negotiate a common ground. But the dossier is something that it's turned out to be, it seems to be completely false and fabricated.
Well, here's a related story. Trump, of course, is delaying his, quote, fake news awards. That's right, fake news awards that the president has come up with. Stephen Colbert and other late-night hosts, of course, going to have to wait longer to find out if they've won the honor of being on President Trump's list of fake news awards. The awards going to the most corrupt and biased of the mainstream media, unquote, will be presented to the losers. But now it's being delayed. It's going to be, they're saying now, sometime in late January. And of course, the interest in and importance of these awards is far greater than anyone could have anticipated, according to a Trump tweet, noting another explanation for the delay could be that Trump's expected to attend the College Football National Championship in Atlanta. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders declining to provide details on exactly how the awards will be decided and how they'll be handed out. So what do you think the purposes of these awards?
Well, whatever it is going to be good publicity for whoever chooses. And if you consider he's always has a conflict with CNBC or CNN, there's no telling who else is going to come in. But, you know, that could drive viewers on the left to go watch those channels, too.
Well, like you're going according to the old adage that there is no such thing as bad publicity. You know, a few years ago, they started something called the Raspberry Awards, which, of course, was relating to the film industry. For some, instead of the best movies, you had best actors for the worst movie, you know, that worst movie. And, of course, these actually took off. So we may see fake news awards become an annual thing. Not sure if that's a good thing or not, but we'll have to just keep it in mind. But
I'll tell you this,
yeah.
We will never get a fake news award because we tell it the way that it is, Al.
Well, we do, and we pull our sources from reputable sources, AP. I use Newser. I found Newser, and of course that's a collating service from other news sources. And I find that, and you know, another important thing is double check your sources. It's another important thing to do. You know, have more than one source for each story, and that way you know you're getting the straight dope. We like to give you the straight dope, the unbiased, unmitigated.
Even if you're not in Colorado.
All that too. This is American Roundtable. We'll have more for you right after this.
Well, here's some more interesting subjects we have to talk about. So let's talk about what happened. It's been in the news and a movie about Tonya Harding.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Tonya Harding.
I think she did a boxing match a few years ago. But it's like, you know, people make mistakes.
Well, let's give people a little background on Tonya Harding.
Okay.
Back in the 94 Olympics, I think it was 94, wasn't it?
96.
It was way back
94.
There. And
the 94 attack.
Winter Olympics. You had Tonya Harding and a girl named Nancy Kerrigan who were trying to go for the gold in the women's single figure skating event. Now, it turns out Tonya Harding even though she's on the same team as Nancy Kerrigan, wanted that gold. She wanted that gold really badly. Really, really badly. Somehow Nancy Kerrigan got kneecapped. That means someone took a bar, smacked her in the knee, and Nancy Kerrigan, even though she competed, she didn't win the gold. And so it was, let's just say that it derailed the whole career. Of course, Tonya Harding got kicked out, ended up doing some porn, doing some other videos, right? I think, so now, what's the latest with Tonya?
So did you watch the porno?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, just to let you know, if you're a figure skater, it costs a lot of money, and sometimes you get up and you go to the rink at 4 o'clock in the morning, take your lessons, then go to school, and then you get out of school and then go back for more lessons. So these girls or any figure skater that's in any competitive skating environment, it costs a lot of money. They're under a lot of pressure, and they put a lot of time into it. But what happened recently is they did an interview with Tonya Harding, and she appeared that she wasn't real happy about the constant grilling that happened with the news person. But there's a movie out, and people are going to see it. And she got involved, or her boyfriend, her husband at the time.
I remember his name was Jeff Gillooly. And
Yeah.
the name of the movie coming out is I, Tonya. I'm going to check that out. It's a compelling story of how competitive the competitive nature of sports can lead to all types of malfeasance and misdeeds. I mean, even in the bicycling, you remember they had that bicyclist that was supposedly doping in order to win.
Yeah, he won 6 or 7 Tours de France.
Yep, exactly.
But you have to look at it as not only the gold, it's all the money you can make from endorsements too. So there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of things that are played onto it, and sometimes people don't handle that well and they make mistakes. So,
well, that's more than a mistake, though. I mean, she had the girl kneecapped. This is more than a mistake. This is serious stuff.
I would say there's degrees of mistakes. So,
well, sure.
So do you give her a second chance? I mean,
Well, there isn't. What's that kind of second chance? She's not competing anymore, obviously. I mean, you mean just kind of like let bygones be bygones? I think that worked itself out, right?
Yeah.
And,
make a movie about it.
But it's going to be interesting to see. On a separate note, Joe Arpaio. You know Joe Arpaio,
I know Joe.
the famous Sheriff Joe from Maricopa County in Arizona. Well, he's trying to become Senator Arpaio. It seems that the 85-year-old is pretty old to become a senator. I think they're usually retiring at that time. However, he's a Trump favorite. He's in the favor of the president. In other words, the president has not given him a nickname.
That's good.
That's a good thing, I think. He is actually running for Senate. He was pardoned by the president. The president loves Sheriff Joe, and Sheriff Joe loves the president. What are his chances? What do you think, Bill Strickland?
Well, sometimes you have some of these people, they try to follow the law of the country. And there's been some modifications in that over the last presidency. And he did some things that he had to pay for. But I think he's got a chance to do something. It doesn't matter really how old he is, as long as he's breathing and he's in good shape. He has a chance to, and whoever his competition is, you got to look at that too.
Well, and I think he has a pretty good chance because number one, Arizona is a pretty conservative state. They love Sheriff Joe. I mean, he's been around for a long time. Elected, he was Trump before Trump was Trump. He was taking a hard line on stuff like that. So I give him about a 70-30 chance of winning. A little more, about a 70-30. We'll have more for you on American Roundtable right after this.
Welcome back. This is Bill Strickler.
And I'm Al Spry. Great to have you here on American Roundtable.
They say that no matter what you do, sooner or later it will come out. There was a murder in 2012 that is now just, evidence has come out involved with a doctor, a motorcycle gang, a drug ring, and there was a murder of a doctor's wife.
Now, doctors are usually held and hold themselves to a very high ethical standard. In fact, some of the most ethical people are doctors. Also, realtors hold themselves to an ethical standard. I got to slide that in from a realty business. And prosecutors in New Jersey say they've cracked a 5-year-old case is a murder case. The victim's endocrinologist widower is at the center of a tangled plot involving drugs, involving a hitman, and a motorcycle gang. The Dr. James Kaufman, he's 69, helped arrange the hit of his wife. Was a popular radio talk show host at their Linwood home, and he allegedly did so to prevent his wife from coming out about his opioid drug ring that he ran out of his office in cahoots with the pagan outlaw motorcycle gang. So, also charged is his business partner, and of course, this is just all relating to the fact that the doctor, because they can write prescriptions, was writing opioid prescriptions, and he was tied in with this motorcycle gang. A little unclear as to why that was. Maybe he was a secret motorcyclist or wanted to be a motorcycle gang member or wanted to hang out with the bad guys. Obviously, he was a bad guy. He had his wife offed.
The only thing this story doesn't have is sex. If it was sex, it would be on primetime movies.
No, there really isn't sex. You got drugs, though, a motorcycle gang, and a doctor, and murder, though. And I guess
money.
He was having sex with his wife, I guess, at some point. But you can't really tie it in necessarily.
Can't tie it in.
You can, though. Because motorcycle gangs have some pretty raucous parties that feature ladies.
All I got to say is this is another example, and we see it practically in every story we do, is about greed. People are greedy. They want more. If you're a doctor, you have a nice amount of income, really.
Of course you do. You got it made.
But I will say this, out of all the professions, doctors have the highest divorce rate.
Well, doctors, it's a very stressful profession. There are many doctors who are depressed. Many doctors are alcoholics. It's a high-stress, high-tension profession. You don't see your family much. You work long hours. You do get paid well, but you have to really have a caring attitude. Of course, killing your wife and working with this motorcycle gang doesn't sound that caring to me. Somewhere you lost it along the way. But we'll see how this one turns out. We'll keep you up to date right here on American Roundtable on Tough TV and Tough TV 38. Be back with some final thoughts after this. Welcome back to the American Roundtable. Some final thoughts for you, of course, on our half hour of news power. We give it to you straight. We call it the no BS zone, don't we, Bill Strickland?
Well, I guess you call it that, Al. I'll go along with it.
All right, let's go along. There's a California couple.
No, not a California couple. Nebraska couple. And you know how old they are?
How old?
80 and 70 years old. This is a perfect example to do planning when you're getting older and stash some cash so you don't have to stash the bag of marijuana in the back of your car.
Well, they made headlines last month when they were arrested claiming 60 pounds of marijuana found in their car was for Christmas presents. 60 pounds!
In Nebraska, they would give away corn.
Authorities say that after the Gyrons, who are 80 and 70 years old respectively, were stopped on Interstate 80 for tailgating, a deputy became suspicious. $18,000 was found stuffed into a duffel bag in their vehicle. A drug dog detected traces of marijuana on the money and in a garbage bag found by the vehicle. When they were stopped, the Gyrons said they were bringing the marijuana worth about $336,000. The Vermont didn't know it was illegal to transport pot across state lines. A likely story. Of course, the Gyrons were released after paying 10% of a $2,500 bond each, signing a form saying they don't claim the $18,000 was their own, and their daughter, a Vermont resident who was driving the vehicle, was not arrested. They have a court appearance relating to the December arrest next week. Of course, their son is a deputy prosecutor in Vermont, where authorities say he has no connection to the drug allegations and is extremely disappointed in mom and dad.
Well, you know, these people, they have good work ethics. No matter what age they are, they're still working.
Yeah, they're smuggling drugs.
Well, they're still working. They're still working out. They're not sitting back and collecting the government check. They are out trying to make a buck.
So you kind of like these guys. You like this couple.
This is kind of like Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing.
Yeah, but they're geriatric Bonnie and Clyde.
Well, you know, they just take their meds with them, Al.
Yeah, they do. 60 pounds of it.
There you go.
$18,000. You can buy a lot of good medicine with
just chill out. They can chill out the entire ride. Take a little kid and say, "We there yet?" You know, they can ride with the grandkids.
What I want to know is how the daughter got out of not getting arrested too. She probably just went, "I don't know." You know.
Well, that's just my mom and dad.
Yeah, well, I think they would have been held for a lot more bond if marijuana, of course, is becoming more acceptable and more accepted in
But
society.
in Nebraska,
Even in Nebraska, people want their pot everywhere, Bill.
I don't know.
It
I can
seems
see
to be that way.
California. I mean, I can see that being legal in D.C., but
I tell you what, over half the states now have legal medical marijuana, and we have about 7 or 8 states which has legal marijuana across the board. We'll keep looking at this story, and of course, we'll keep giving you the straight stuff right here on the American Roundtable on Tough TV. Tough TV 38. I'm Al Spry.
and I'm Bill Strickler.
Keep it real.
And keep it tough.